Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Today we are going to look at the SEC's comments that have came out in the recent lawsuits between Binance and the SEC yesterday, and of course the lawsuit that they brought forth against Coinbase today. We're going to look at the comments that the SEC has made within the lawsuits that assume potentially that Cardano is a security. And one of the penalizations that they've given to both Binance and Coinbase is the sale and offering of the Cardano token. So in the Binance one, it was referenced with a number of other cryptocurrencies under the ticker ADA. And in the Coinbase one, they actually extend on it. They look at the roadmap for Cardano. They also look at and bring up Cardano on a number of different occasions. So we're going to look at that, what context it's in. I'm going to share some thoughts as always, and then we'll go and look at the price and see how this is largely affecting things. I just want to stress this, and I can't stress this enough, guys, don't panic. If you've been in the crypto space for any period of time, this is common practice in this space. There are always spanners thrown into the works, and this is part of any technology going mainstream. There's always teething problems, whether it be the motoring industry. You had a lot of kickback from people who were pro-horse, or whether it be, you know, the telecom industry, whether it be the internet, whether it be whatever it may be, there's always teething problems. And blockchain is no different. And actually, there's a real positive to be taken out of a negative here. And that is that you guys, and I'm talking to you at the other end of the screen, get to be early investors and adopters of a technology that hasn't even been recognized as one yet by the kind of mainstream and masses. Regulations are, I think, a lot more bullish than bearish. However, there are, of course, going to be casualties of that war. Regulations, when they do get implemented, are going to be the very thing that open up the floodgate for institutions. And from a price point of view, will make the market go up, in my opinion. However, there are going to be casualties. One casualty, which is the kind of blockchain ethos, is the level of decentralization that may be maintained, certainly in jurisdictions like the USA. But we're going to look into it all. Without further ado, guys, I want to go ahead and look at both lawsuits and where Cardano is mentioned specifically, and give you a little bit of context on it. So yesterday, and we got caught out with this. We didn't expect that. We expected the SEC to go after Binance, but we didn't think it was going to be yesterday. Of course, that was a lesson that I think the cryptocurrency market and markets generally never stop humbling you. You should always keep your eye on certain issues. However, Binance didn't even know they were going to get sued, and actually the media outlets found out before Binance themselves did. But today we charge Binance Holdings Ltd, Binance US-based affiliate BAM Trading Services Incorporated, which together with Binance operated Binance.us and their founder CZ with a variety of security laws violation. And they go and put this very childish comment that was made in 2018, completely out of context. And of course, today we have the lawsuit, and we'll look at the Binance lawsuit in reference to Cardano, and then the Coinbase lawsuit, which actually references Cardano a number of times. This was a great tweet from Dr. Schweiter, hopefully I'm saying that right, talking about it all and giving a bit of clarity perhaps on it. Charles made a video yesterday. I'm sure he's going to continue to do so. And then we'll wrap things up with a price. So today we charge Coinbase Incorporated with operating its crypto asset trading platform as an unregistered national securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency, and for failing to register the offers and sales of its crypto asset staking as a service program. So let's go over to the Binance one first. We did report on this yesterday. I'm sure many of you watched that video, but if we scroll down to point, I think it's 352, if my memory, should have probably had that on a note somewhere, serves me correctly. You can see here it says, since the Binance platform launched, defendants have made available for trading on them crypto assets that are offered and sold as investment contracts. So I just want to highlight this point here, investment contracts. So perhaps in regards to Binance and Coinbase, they're calling the derivative side, the contract, the futures side, which I'm very familiar with as a trader, that side of things as securities. You know, you're offering an investment contract and potentially not the underlying asset. The ramifications of calling Cardano a security would mean self-custody could no longer be a thing. Transferring of funds would need to be done by a registered brokerage, so on and so forth. And actually, it's impractical to a proof-of-stake consensus, and we can talk about all that in just a second. So there is a glimpse of hope here that perhaps, even though they're naming the tokens, they are actually talking about the contracts that the derivatives market, the futures, the contract side of these assets that these exchanges are offering, not potentially the underlying assets. But I can't say that with 100% certainty. It's just a bit of a glimpse of hope, I guess, and thus as securities. So let me just read that again. Since the platform launched, defendants have made available trading on the crypto assets that are offered and sold as investment contracts and thus are securities. This include, but is not limited to, BNB, BUSD, which you already knew about, and the unit of each of the crypto asset securities further described below, with trading symbols SOL for Solana, ADA for Cardano, MATIC for Polygon, FIL for Filecoin, Atom for the Cosmos Hub, SAND for SAND, Mana for Decentraland, Algo for Algorand, AXS for Axel Infinity, and of course COTI, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, collectively the crypto asset securities. So it mentions Cardano first here, which was very interesting. And this is the first time that Cardano's actually been in the spotlight with one of these lawsuits. This is why I'm making this video, because it is something to bear in mind and actually consider. You know, are they calling? Now, I can't help but think maybe there's a chance they're talking about the derivatives market that these exchanges offer that are pegged to these currencies, and that's the actual security. However, are they really implying that these underlying assets like ADA, like Solana, like MATIC are securities themselves? The ramifications of that are destructive, isn't even scratching the surface in regards to using the correct word for the devastation that it would cause. The securities laws makes things very cumbersome. It implies KYC at every single point. Self-custody would no longer be a thing necessarily. You can't self-custody stocks. You have to get a broker to do that for you, and so on and so forth. And of course, the whole proof-of-stake mechanism, staking, so on and so forth. As a stake pool operator, and this is a great time to give a shout out to my pool, as always, the opportunist. You know, the game would really change for a stake pool operators. We'd have to go under a whole new set of circumstances, but we currently have 3 million ADA in the pool, guys. Anybody that does want to stake with the All-In Crypto pool, we are committed to be here. We're now above 3 million ADA, and it makes me over the moon that we are gaining your trusts as a pool to delegate to and earn rewards like everybody else. So do consider it, guys. Anyway, back to the lawsuit. This was the first time that ADA was really mentioned. Today, though, however, we saw a lawsuit, and this is the lawsuit brought against Coinbase. And the interesting thing here is they also offer a list of cryptocurrencies that I will find. Here it is. And you can see, we'll zoom in a little bit for anybody that's got bad eyesight. Cardano is clearly listed at the top. You then have Chiliz, Solana, Axel Infinity. So Chiliz is a new one. Filecoin was there. ICP is a new one. Flow Token is a new one. Near Protocol is a new one. Polygon, of course, was yesterday. Voyager is a new one. Sandbox and Dash is a new one. But Cardano is at the top of this list. Okay, so it's first mentioned here. They also mention it specifically here. Coinbase maintain and provides individual order books for each trading pair, e.g. an ADUSD order book, and all order books reside on centralized service maintained by Coinbase. So we could be jumping the gun, perhaps, with actually saying, look, the SEC are calling these securities. Are they calling certain practices that centralized entities are facilitating with these crypto assets, not crypto securities? Are they calling that bit the security and not the actual underlying asset? I'm really trying to work this out for myself, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think. But as you know, we're massive fans of ADA. The last video we did was talking about how we think ADA's price is going to do very well, and of course we didn't know the SEC lawsuit was going to hit. I actually entered long on a Litecoin we were long on. We still are, and we are still long from an investment point of view, but from a trading side of things, we're doing a number of things. My money's always where my mouth is, guys. We don't tell you anything that we don't believe in. So after we have, of course, the list, it then goes on We've skipped right ahead here, guys, so do forgive me and allow me to go back a few slides. Let's go back a fair few slides here, guys. So, of course, this is the Binance one. We're on the wrong bloody one to start things off. And then if we scroll down again, they come down and mention Cardano specifically. So you can see here, they say, for example, the page below on Coinbase's website provides price movement and other market stats for ADA Cardano. They didn't mention any other cryptos here. Coinbase customers can access the page for ADA and other asset-specific pages from the Explore page on Coinbase's website. They simply click on the name of the particular crypto asset and are redirected to a page where Cardano provides, or Coinbase provides, additional information about the crypto asset. The information on each asset-specific page is typically provided by an identifiable set of asset promoters and or developers. And it includes, but is not limited to, the person who developed and launched the cryptocurrency, so on and so forth. Then again, they come down and actually mention, so they mention ADA a number of other times here. E.g., any ADA or fraction thereof is just like any others. So these assets include, but are not limited to, each of the crypto asset securities are interchangeable, e.g. ADA. They then mention it again here. They seem to have mentioned ADA. They've done bits on each individual crypto, but they seem to mention ADA quite specifically. And then they also go on to talk about input-output, talk about Charles Hoskinson and Wood created ADA and perpetrated to limit the supply of ADA to 45 billion. So we'll read the section on Cardano. So they have an individual section for Cardano where they've mentioned a number of interesting things, including incorporating the roadmap. And then we'll sort of round all this up and give you guys a conclusion. It's pretty bloody interesting what's being brought up here. I think unfair is an understatement. However, again, this is part of teething problems. We all knew that we were going to have regulatory issues. This is the regulatory issues coming to the forefront. It's how you deal with them that really makes the difference. So ADA is the native token of the Cardano blockchain. I'll zoom in if anybody wants to read it on the screen with me. The Cardano blockchain was created in 2015 by the Ethereum co-founder Charles Hoskinson and an Ethereum operations manager, Jerome Wood. As described on the Cardano website, the Cardano blockchain protocol is built on its own proof-of-stake consensus protocol called Ouroboros, which is purportedly energy efficient. Hoskinson and Wood created ADA and purported to limit the supply of ADA to 45 billion. From 2015 to 2017, input-output, or IOHK for short, a company founded by Hoskinson and Wood, conducted a token sale during which they sold approximately 2.5 or 25.9 billion ADA in exchange for Bitcoin at what equates to an average price of 0.0024 per token, raising approximately 62 million for Cardano. This took place, again, they said that Ethereum, because of its ICO and it's sufficiently decentralized since then, and it's in the past, doesn't qualify as security, yet they're not applying the same rules to Cardano here, is what it looks like. So today, 3 entities are responsible for Cardano. The Cardano Foundation, a Swiss entity that is legal custodian of the Cardano protocol and owns an owner of its brand. Interesting. IOHK, an engineering company controlled by Hoskinson and Wood, responsible for designing, building, and maintaining the Cardano blockchain, and Emurgo, an entity with offices in New York and California that that, according to the website, is essentially the for-profit arm of Cardano. So you can see where this is getting overlapped. And this is unfair because they're essentially saying that there's companies that work on Cardano, like there are with every single blockchain, including Bitcoin, by the way, guys, and that they are what essentially could qualify these as securities because you've got a group of you've got a group that may profit from Cardano. That's where they're applying this sort of Howey test. You know, the main difference between if you think about a security, it's a security of a company, right? Or it doesn't have to be a company; it can be a variety of things. But there has to be a centralized movement that has been securitized, and that's one of the rules of it being a security. With Cardano, nobody owns Cardano; it owns itself, And the companies that build on it do it because they choose to do it, not because they are owners of the protocol. We all, as Cardano holders, own the protocol, guys. Yeah. And actually, this just doesn't extend to exchanges. If they are classifying Cardano as a security, individuals who have moved Cardano around or interacted with DeFi or whatever it may be, done swaps on DEXs, may be in breach of security laws themselves. So this has massive ramifications. So I better take it back to the page. Endeavoring to advance the platform and drive adoption through commercial ventures, as explained on the Cardano website. IOHK develops the technology. The Cardano Foundation is responsible for supervising development and promoting Cardano, while Emurgo drives commercial adoption. These three entities collectively receive 5.2 billion ADA following the initial mining. So Cardano isn't mined of ADA, or approximately 16.7% of the initial token supply of 31.1 billion ADA. These three entities have used the proceeds from ADA sales to fund the development, marketing, business operations, and growth of the Cardano protocol. For example, investor funds were used to enact the Cardano roadmap creation by IOHK, specifically to develop each of the Cardano development eras. Oh boy. As shown in the following screenshot of the website. ADA has been available for buying, selling, and trading on the Coinbase platform since approximately March 2021. The information publicly disseminated by Cardano, IOHK, and Emurgo include, since the initial sale of ADA, have led ADA holders, including those who purchased ADA since March 2021, responsibly to view ADA as an investment in and expect of profits from the Cardano Foundation, IOHK, Emurgo, and Emurgo's efforts to grow the Cardano platform, which in turn would increase the demand for and the value of ADA. So, actually, reading this, they are calling Cardano a security here. Because their whole thing here is that if there's a group of centralized entities working on a project that are profiting from it, and that you're buying it in the expectation that they grow or work on the platform to make it profitable for everyone, to grow the adoption, then that's what they're saying is a security. Which this has huge ramifications. Let me not mince my words here. For Cardano Foundation, IOHK, and Emurgo. Because they're essentially saying, in the same way that they said to Brad Garlinghouse and to Chris Larson and to Ripple, they're saying the same thing that they said to them to Cardano. Share this video about, guys, because let me know what you think. I personally think Cardano is sufficiently decentralized enough. First of all, the ICO that took place was in Japan. You couldn't even partake in it as a US consumer. So it has no US jurisdiction. So the ICO is irrelevant. Okay. And second of all, if you don't, for example, we run a stake pool. We're one of 3,000+ people that help to validate the network. There's no centralized point of control necessarily for Cardano. There might be centralized point in regards to people working on technology and stuff like that, but that itself isn't even centralized because we've spoken to many of the developers on Cardano. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is all absolutely groundbreaking and interesting stuff, and it's going to become very crucial. So in public statements on Twitter and other social medias, as well as their respective websites, including statements made and available during the period when ADA was available to trade on Coinbase platform, the Cardano Foundation, IOHK, and Emurgo have specified their expertise in developing blockchain networks and described the efforts they have made and will continue to make to develop Cardano protocol and blockchain and attract users to the technology, including but not limited to an announcement by IOHK in around September 2021 about the creation of smart contracts on the protocol. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Which supposedly would pave the way for additional demand for the blockchain protocol. Of course it would. You know, this is double standards here is beyond belief. You know, Ethereum has done the exact same thing. A blog post by IOHK in and around November 2022 described its efforts to introduce innovations, new functionality, and new features to the blockchain, and a blog post by IOHK on and around November the 17th, 2022, touting ADA being hosted on more than 30 crypto exchanges and outlining IOHK's plan to improve the underlying performance of the Cardano network to better support growth and adoption, and thousands of applications with high transaction volume, while specific examples on how this would be achieved. So there you have it, guys. That is what the SEC have said in regards to Cardano. It's very interesting. So there's been arguments put forward. Of course, this is from Dr. Schweiter. They're essentially saying why technically Cardano can't be a security. Cardano ICO was in Japan and not in the US for US investors. It's not a security token. ADA is not a stable coin. Also, ADA is not a DeFi token. And then he goes on to say a number of things. I do believe Charles Hoskinson will come out and make a full statement on all of this. Look at the cryptocurrency market's price. Despite this, guys, we still remain long and strong. We ultimately have a macro view that this market is going to do very well for macroeconomic reasons, not short-term noise and bumps in the road in regards to the SEC filing lawsuits. So there you have it, guys. There's everything you need to know where Cardano has been mentioned in both of these two lawsuits. Let me know your thoughts and concerns in the comment section. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you enjoyed the content at all, like is appreciated as a comment. See you in the next one, guys.